Alright, so we are going to talk about Maeve and how to play her at a very high level. We are talking about a Maeve that hits and runs and tries to make it to their spawn and knock them all off horses, being super annoying and getting mainly solo kills on their DPSs. This is not some sort of super pounce Maeve. So the heavy elimination reset cooldown on pounce is very good for getting a highlight reel, but it's not very good for winning matches in general. Usually Artful Dodger is a free 500 heal that instantly resets, and it also has a crowd control reduction move, which is very helpful against Sirius and some others with some weird stuns. So in general, most of my builds are all built around Artful Dodger. I have one built around Pounce, but Cat Burglar is never very good. There's lots of reasons for that. I mean, it's fun. Like, you can turn into Balloon Man and jump all the way across the map and stuff, but she's already such a high movement player that that's completely unnecessary. So let's start getting into the builds here before this goes too long. These are your major builds. You have Master of None. These are my two main builds. This one and the other one, the only difference is his last card, so I'll talk about it first. You cannot be slowed below 50%. You pick that up anytime they've got a Kinessa or something with some sort of AoE type slow that's constantly going to be hitting you. That's pretty much the only reason to pick that one up. This one uses Walk It Off, 40 heal. Prowl is 4 seconds, so that gets to be pretty effective if you have to use a 9 lives and you're running, and then you do a couple of pounces, because your pounce will heal you for 280, so you hit, run, heals you a little bit, pounce heals you for a little bit, reset, it heals you for 500, then pounce. Well, this is not a successful hit. I guess if you're running, you're not going to hit those. 9 lives heals you for 80, that's okay, that's pretty good in general. Out of combat is 20%. You're actually out of combat quite a bit as Maeve, because you're trying to get behind enemy lines after you get those first few kills and knock them off horses and completely delay the game. That way, giving your team more time on the point to win the point. Usually flank builds like this include lots of getting behind enemy lines and causing havoc. That's what this is based around, this build. This is the main build. I would highly recommend this build. Let's go through all the cards here so you know why I use this build. Gain 10% movement speed for 2 seconds when you activate 9 lives is generally trash because you're going to do a pounce. Well, it's not trash, it's just not very well used. It's only 2 seconds for a small boost. And when you're using 9 lives, you're usually doing a pounce combo. Reduced cooldown of 9 lives, amazing card, probably best card in her whole set. If you don't get this, you're playing a very strange Maeve. I have a couple in my build, but it's definitely weird to play without it. It's noticeable too. 9 lives heals you for 80. With the 500 heal, this 80 usually becomes redundant. She has 2k life, so you can get this up quite a bit and basically get a half heal out of her. If you max this out, it's good. It's not great. None of her cards are really great. This is her major amazing card, so it's pretty good. 5% damage reduction for 2 seconds. She only has 2,000 life. Most heroes only do about 4 to 500 DPS per second, so it's an extremely low amount. Most of the heals beat this, especially like Walk It Off. Even Patch It Up beats this as far as heals go. So the damage reduction, unless you're stacking it with a bunch of other things and you're using it to try and pounce 9 lives when you're extremely low life, then these two combos would be okay. Increased 10% movement speed of Prowl, solid card. I don't pick it up on many of my builds, but it is good. It's only 10% for 4 seconds, and usually when you're prowling, you're out of movement, so you might as well have it all the time instead of just for the 4 seconds. So not here yet, but this is a better card than this one in general. Reduce your fall speed of Prowl by 10%. This is good in pro high-level matches that are used against playing against a Maeve. You can stick this in your loadout, so she gives it a different feel when people are shooting at her. Same with the Drogos when he does his spacebar, like you can kind of feel the difference, but she's such a heavy and fast player that in general I think that's not very good. Increased duration of Prowl by 0.5 seconds. If you stack it with a heavy Walk It Off, that's the only reason I would see going with the Street Runner, is if you're doing max Walk It Off, max Street Runner. Otherwise, half a second on a 4 second with an 8 second cooldown is just not worth it. Heal for 40 seconds every second during Prowl turns out to be quite a bit, because like I said, the activation of Prowl is 4 seconds. So that's pretty decent at low, like level 1, level 2 card, but level 4 mixed with this makes her a very weird Prowl runny build, and you can't really attack, I mean, you can attack during it, but the cooldowns are also long that she's usually in, kill, out, so that's for a more long, drawn out ninja type fighting. Distance ninja, throwing stars. Pounce heals you for 70 on successful hit, so this is so good because it's actually 140, because normally you pounce 9 lives pounce with a throw in between. So this can be extremely strong, probably your second strongest card. 10% movement speed for 3 seconds. Pounce has like a 1.5 second attack, I believe. So after you do pounce, reset, pounce, you're only left with half a second of movement speed after all that, of 10%. Even if you max this at 40, it's really just not very useful. Reduce cooldown of pounce by 0.5 seconds. Again, it's only 0.5 and not doubled, because you usually pounce, reset, pounce, so 0.5 just isn't that good. Occasionally you'll use pounce to kind of get away, to jump away, and then it's pretty good. I've seen it used for more of a street runner type runaway build. Would use a heavy shred. Damage reduction for 0.2 seconds. Same reason why this one's pretty trash. This one's pretty trash. This one's slightly better because I guess you get the 1.5 seconds during the pounce. So without a doubt, this one's better than the 9 lives one because of when it would hit. It would pounce, you would get to DR during 9 lives, and then during the next pounce, and then you would get the DR again. So this would actually be more like 10%, and with 2k life, 5%. That's really hard to justify picking up either one of these, but of the two, 6 cents is better. Kills and eliminations grant 10% movement speed for 4 seconds. Trash. Why not get this? After you get a kill, you're out of combat, so it's very rare that this is useful for cut and run. I mean, if you're getting a kill, you're usually getting out of there anyways. If you're going to do something like this, then you might as well go with a pounce build. I can see this on a pounce build where you're pouncing, getting a kill, and then you pounce away, and you're using that away to get your run. So yeah, I can see this being a pretty decent card if you're doing pounce, on kill, pounce, because you would pounce, reset, pounce, and then pounce again to get away from the combat. Let's say there's 3 people there, you'd pounce, reset, pounce, kill your guy, pounce away, and then you'd be pretty quick. You'd have to get it pretty high though, 44 seconds, in which case you would probably rather have your 280 here and then then a reset there. A reset here. I can't see this card being picked up very much in any builds. You cannot be slowed beyond 50% of your base movement speed. Amazing level 1, absolute trash to get beyond level 1. Kinessa trap build you can get away from. Basically any AoE or castable slows this is really good for, especially level 1. I have a build that separates it that we already went over. Gain 10% movement speed when out of combat. Obviously a strong level 1, level 2 card. Increased maximum health by 50. There's an Excel document floating out there on the pro forums that says that this is arguably the worst card in the game, and there's a lot of reasoning behind it, because at level 1 there is only 2 heroes that it would take more than the normal amount of shots to kill you with, and it's a Victor, and it takes him 1 more bullet, which is a fraction of a second, and it's like a Kinessa's gun as well. The rest of the heroes from full life to dead will kill you in the exact same amount of time. So Streak Cred is a terrible card. I'm really tired of seeing it so much. I had it on one of the builds that I never played. It's really not a very good card. Please stop picking it up, guys. Even at I think it's 200 max, even at 200 you're really trying to avoid a Kinessa headshot, and if you're getting a really good Kinessa, she's doing 50% increased Kinessa headshots, which is 2,400, so it's still going to be a one shot. So unless you're playing against a Kinessa that isn't doing Kinessa headshot, that's the only way I can see getting this card, and then you would survive a headshot with 50 HP. But even then, I mean, that's one very rare case, and it's not worth destroying a whole build for. So now let's go into my builds. I went over the Master of 9. It's basically heal during pounce, reduce the cooldown of 9 lines so you can combo better. It's a little bit more pro of a build than some of the amateur builds I've been seeing. And then heal during prowl, heals as you're running away, heal during line lives is kind of because there's not much else to get here, besides of course the movement speed run. I like the movement speed while out of combat. Again, you can swap this out for a couple of the other movement speeds, but in general, your movement speed out of combo, you want to try and get behind the enemy or run to their base to start knocking them off. That's key. And then in that case, when you're in their base and you get 2 or 3 of them, you're pouncing and persistently running away. So you would probably max this and reduce this to 1 if you were going to change anything in this build. Easy combo. This is more of my beginner build for most beginners playing the game or trying to learn this hero. You get 280 for successful hit, then you heal off your 9 lives, and then you have a prowl bonus speed. So this way you can get to the fight out of 20% movement speed. You don't have as many combos because you're only doing level 2 here, but you heal for significantly more. So if you're really struggling playing Maeve and you like the hero and you just want to get better at learning and hitting the heroes, this is a much better combo because you get an extra 320, which is 820 if you're doing the right master card, in my opinion. So then pure pounce. This is more for the pounce show off that is trying to hit a highlight reel. You pounce combo pounce for the 280. That usually lets you beat the opponent. After you pounce, you're getting your 20% movement speed. Oh, legendary card proc. And then your pounce is reduced by 2 seconds. So you get another pounce up quickly. So you combo, run, combo, run, combo, run. This is for highlight reels. It's not that useful. It's for that mid, always in a fight Maeve that knows what she's doing. This is a very pro style way to play. I can't see getting this with the 9 lives card. You would only really get this with the pounce legendary card. And then the last card is Ninja. This is for a long range Maeve. If you learn to play Maeve a lot, you can start hitting her daggers at incredibly long ranges. There's really no reason not to. The flight path is kind of long on them, but you can spam common points that people run through, especially on super long maps like Timber Mill and stuff like that, where you don't want to run all the way to their base, but you want to kind of throw them over that last final point. Like when your team's on the original point, you can use builds like this to really spread the field a lot more. So we're still reducing cooldown of 9 lives by a lot. The damage reduction during 9 lives, you're using your 9 lives more as a heal here than a combo because we're shooting at long ranges, which again is why we use 80 health on Prowl level 2 as well. So now your 9 lives heals you for a ton. You have damage reduction during your 9 lives when you get caught out. You're using your 9 lives to run when you're in their base messing with them. So you're using your 9 lives to pounce and prowl away. You prowl as soon as you engage in fights to get the 80 health per second during the whole fight for the 4 seconds, and then you 9 lives and then you run away, and while you're running away you get a little bit more here. This is just kind of a end card for the 70 hit. The 70 is almost as bad as the 50 max life, except for you can get a combo of it twice, and that's 140, and that's a full bullet from, or that's a full half second on most heroes' DPSs. Or not quite, it's fractional second. Might be the little edge you need. I can definitely see swapping this last card out, but that's how you play a top 100 Maeve. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. Thanks for watching.